Hey guys, welcome back to another video. It's your man Jay. So I want to talk about the Razer phone and why it's on my catch and release list. This phone has more things that I don't like about it and using it day to day than I do like about it. And the things that I don't like about it stay on my mind every time I pick up this phone. So the first thing is, you can see I took the case off because the case makes this phone even more huge than it really is. This is a wide, heavy brick. It's very thick, it's very boxy, it's very heavy, and it is a brick in your pocket. That is the first thing that I just could not eliminate from my mind. The phone is way too bulky for this small screen. When you hold this phone, it is so sharp in your hand, it is unreal. You will not believe how boxy and squared off and how this actually hurts to hold this phone for an extended period of time in your hand. It's not a good look. This phone needed to be more along the lines of a more narrow 18:9 ratio or 19.5:9 ratio, something other than the 16:9 ratio. This is not a good look for this phone. The design of this phone is thumbs down. Don't like it after some extended use. Now, another thing that I really wasn't a fan of after using this is these buttons on the side. These volume rockers are kind of I don't know. I just think of the Next Bit Robin when I use this phone with these buttons. They're placed okay, but I don't like how they feel. Now they feel better with the case on, but again, this case makes the phone feel so bulky, and it's just not a good look. Not really a fan of it, and that's just something that I just wasn't really feeling. Now, another thing that I really didn't like about this phone is the hardware, the glass on here. This phone is glass. It is glass, but it doesn't feel, I don't know, something about it. It's just doesn't feel right, because the front of the phone is like this metal and the sides are metal, and then they just have this back glass on here that's just glass. And I don't like to use phones with cases all the time. And this phone is just a slippery fingerprint magnet. Not the best looking design. I like the little logo, but something about this back of this phone right here, I'm not feeling it, man. I don't know what it is. It just gave me it rubbed me the wrong way right off the top. Probably because I'm not really a fan of black glass phones anymore. If I buy a glass phone, I normally will put a skin on it that's black if I'm going to keep it. You know, or it has a case on it that's really nice. But this phone, again, with the size of this phone and the case, so you know, the design of this phone was okay at first, but this back glass, I don't know, man. I'm just not feeling it, man. Another thing is that I thought will really impress me is the refresh rate of this phone. Well, after that, what's next? I didn't get any kind of excitement about this phone, knowing that it's just running Nova Launcher. Now some of you guys will say, oh, it's really running Nova Launcher, so you can customize it. It's not really much I wanted to do with this as far as customizations. I would have kind of wanted them to do like a stock Android version, and I know you're gonna say, what? Doesn't make any sense. Well, stock Android, it runs really fast, and I normally don't put Nova Launcher on phones that have stock Android. So you might say, okay, Jay, so good, you put it on there. But no, they took away my option to doing anything. So this runs Nova Launcher, and it just doesn't feel, I don't know, something about it. I just, you know, using my Pixel or my OnePlus, it just feels different. I don't know what it is. I don't like Nova Launcher on this device. And it could just be the screen ratio or things. I don't know what it is, but let's get to that. The quality of the screen, even with the 120 refresh, you got it, the 120. In day-to-day use though, like using it for social media or just whatever you're using, I don't think this screen is that great. You know, it's not this pop 'em up, oh, this is a beautiful display. I don't feel that way about this phone. For some reason, I don't know. Every phone is different. Everybody has their reasoning for disliking a phone. But I just don't really feel like the display. It's just bang 'em up so good. There's other phones that I use that I think have a much better display. You know, they're 1080p displays. Some about this phone, I just wasn't feeling the display. And yeah, that kind of killed it for me. Now, another thing is the headphone jack. I've gotten used to using a headphone jack, and because certain phones I have that I use a lot have a headphone jack, except for the Pixel. But you know, the Pixel has some great speakers on the front, which I, you know, really enjoy, so very seldom plug in. But the headphone jack on this phone is missing, just like the Pixel. However, this big phone right here, I don't know what it is, I just want it to plug in. You know, the Pixel's a lot smaller, so, but this phone is huge. I just wanted to plug in and put it in my pocket, and the dongle situation, I don't know, I just didn't, I didn't get the quality sound that I wish I would have gotten. And, you know, I don't know, not having a headphone jack on this big phone right here kind of was an issue for me. So there are a few things that I like about this phone. Playing games, but those same games, I can play them on every other phone I have just about. So I didn't see this wow factor experience with the games that I thought I was gonna get. True story. Didn't see the wow, oh my gosh. Just didn't get that from this phone. But where I did get the wow factor was the speakers. The speakers on here, thumbs up all the way. Thumbs up all the way. Really enjoyed the speakers. And that's about it. These are some of the best speakers I've ever heard on a phone, because I believe that they actually are THX certified, because I can tell the difference from using this phone and playing with this phone and listening to content, especially the games, than other phones. It's more of a surround sound with this phone right here. It's amazing. Speakers are mind-blowing. Another area is the cameras. I started to do cameras, photos, and so, you know, just using video. It just didn't wow me. Like when I started to put it next to the Pixel and the iPhone and just the other phones that I have, I put it, the Moto G7 has fantastic cameras, and I just was expecting more. Even though this phone's $499, just wasn't. I just couldn't get past certain things. Just couldn't get past it. The cameras aren't bad, but they're not on par with some other phones that I have. You know, that's just what it is. Overall, man, the best quality about this phone that I found was the speakers, and pretty much that's it. I don't like the hardware. I don't like the size of the phone. I don't like how it feels in the hand. You know, the cameras are just good. They're not fantastic. The speakers are fantastic. The display is just, you know, it's just another display. And the gaming experience, I can get that on any other phone that has a Snapdragon 845 and above, or 835. The G7 doesn't even have, G7 has a 632, and it still can play the games that I was playing the same. So would I spend $500 on this phone? No, I would not after having it. Of course, I got it and it was $499, but if the price goes up, I definitely wouldn't do that. This falls in line with, maybe, in my opinion, I know it has high-end features. I know it has the specs and everything. However, that means crap. You can buy a Lamborghini and you can get beat by a Mopar in that Lamborghini. You understand what I'm saying? So this is a pretty decent phone, but I wouldn't pay $500 after having it. You know what I'm saying? I definitely wouldn't pay $800 for it. It's way too bulky. It's like a brick, man. It's just not, it's not good. Oh, one thing I guess I kind of liked was the fingerprint reader. It's kind of snappy, but the fact that it's in the power button, you know, I don't know. I don't know. I just, this phone just kind of didn't impress me like I thought it was, and that's what it is. I set the expectations way too high, because I did listen to a few people and say, oh, it's awesome, man. Oh my gosh. However, my experience is there are a ton of other phones out there that can, and then this is supposed to be a gaming phone. The advantage that it has is those great speakers. Other than that, folks, I'm telling you 100% my perspective from this. Do not agree with me just because if you have this phone and love it, enjoy your phone. But I'm telling you, I have a boatload of phones on my desk, and nearly all of them can play the games that I played on this phone with ease. The same, you know? So that's not a one-up that this phone has just because it's a gaming phone. So that being said, you can save yourself a ton of money and grab something else. You know, get last year's flagship. I mean, this design is a fail all around, man. This thing is way too huge, man. It's way too big. It's just ridiculous. It's crazy. Anyway, catch and release. Razer Phone 2, you're out of there. It's your man Jay, and I'm out of here. Peace.